See, you can't hear the clapping on Discord, but you'll hear it on the recording.
You will indeed. Right, welcome, not lethal, to the channel. Hello, not so lethal.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
You're
I've
welcome.
decided to skip on over, take a break from MMA, and talk about a cult.
Well, when you think about it,
It's
MMA is technically the cult of the fighting world.
it's yeah, it's definitely there's cults in MMA, man. There's all kinds of there's definitely cults in MMA. There's like groomers, there's like coaches that are groomers, and they've got like all kinds of mad stuff going on in the MMA world. You're not wrong there, like a
Holy
lot of
shit.
scandals.
I
A
was
lot of
mostly
scandals.
joking.
No, there's scandals. There's an that shit that I sent you, the School of Self Awareness. That's a guy
Oh,
who
yeah.
yeah, so that Josh Fabia guy ruined like Diego Sanchez, who was like a pretty famous MMA fighter. He ruined his like the last leg of his career with just ridiculous cult nonsense.
Holy shit.
But you
Yeah,
wanna know about the Mansons, right? The Manson family.
yeah, the Manson family. We're trying to work out whether Charles Manson was born that way or he sort of became that way. And I feel like the best way to look at that is to sort of look into the cult itself, because
That's okay.
there's some interesting things going on there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want an opinion piece, I can tell you that I reckon he was born that way. I don't reckon he was made. I think he was. Then again, maybe he was made. He's cold, calculating, and all the madness is also calculated madness as well. But
Yeah, I was so
yeah,
scared for a brief second you were going to say, I agree with him.
no, of course not, of course not. But it's an there's a method to his madness. So it's like he was a country music artist, like a folk singer.
Yeah, he had like sort of a really failed music career to a degree. He hung out
Well,
with, was
here's
it the
the
Beach
thing.
Boys
Here's the
drummer?
thing. Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about that is that yeah, he didn't do pretty well. He didn't do very well at all. But people who've listened to his shit since have been like, it's pretty good for folk music. It's just that at the time, it was more hippie music that was taking over the scene, and he hated it,
Yeah,
even though he espoused like a lot of the same ideology
yeah, because he is
as part of his cult.
the main bits of knowledge I know from what I've read about in the film I've watched, which was very dated, um, is a lot of their ideology was based around the song "Helter Skelter" by the Beatles,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
I can see that.
which hell of a song to pick. If they'd have picked Strawberry Fields Forever, we'd be having a very different conversation right now.
True, true. I like I like how kind of idiotic, because the reason we know about the Manson family is obviously because of the murders.
Yeah,
Um, but like the whole reasoning behind the motive of the murders is the most baffling part for me. Do you know the motive? As according to Susan Atkins, which is one of the members of the family.
no, go ahead.
So Susan Atkins, I can't remember if it was in an interview, like a video one. I don't even know, or a phone call one maybe, because she's in prison for life. I'm fairly sure, but she'd done an interview, and she had like kind of explained the mythology behind the cult, and it was Charlie Manson was predicting there was going to be a great race war in America,
Yeah,
maybe even the world, and that eventually the black people would win because they're physically stronger and more brutal in their
Jesus
savagery.
Christ.
This is them talking. This is them
Oh,
talking. Um,
disclaimer:
but
not
it's
a lethal
okay.
likes everyone.
Yeah. Not.
He has no cult-like desires.
The disclaimer, not my opinions. But yeah, so he said the black people would easily win the war, but the way him and his cult were going to survive, him and the Manson family were going to survive, because they were going to side with the black people who would inevitably win this war, and they would govern the black people because obviously, in quotations, black people are too stupid to govern themselves.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
I
that's
did
kind
not
of
know
like
about that bit.
yeah, so he's kind of like this is kind of like the the whole idea behind the murders, and the reason the murders happen is because he's talking about this nonsense, this race war that's going to happen any day now. Like all doomsday cults, the end of the world's just about to happen.
Yeah.
But it never does, and so because it never did, Charlie Manson changed his prediction to be actually the Manson family needs to instigate the violence to start said race war. When they went and committed the murders, they pretended that they were black people committing murders of rich white people to try and incite a race war.
Like, the logic behind that move, especially, is so flawed. Like, poor Sharon Tate.
Wow. I mean, yeah. It's a crazy one. It's a crazy one, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because, like, but then if you want to go deep on conspiracies, you could say that, like, you know, there's I don't know too much about it, but I've heard talk of him being linked to the CIA, and you know how the CIA loves to do exactly that, pretend somebody incited violence to cause a war. It's like their favorite thing.
Every Middle Eastern country.
You know, the 911. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know, maybe that's where the idea came from. It's kind of the conspiracy theorists at the time, because you know there's theories that he was part of is it MK Ultra or Operation Paperclip, that the brainwashing kind of stuff done by the CIA. So you know maybe he was like deep within the CIA and they broke his brain. Maybe he was made that way. That's what we should look into. That's what we should look into, whether he was MK Ultra, because that's what was going on at the time. The US government was abducting people and subjecting them unbeknownst to LSD.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the first time the US government did something dodgy, like the Martin Luther King incident, where they pretty much sent letters like "kill yourself," which is just mental. Like, it's such a fucking just this man's trying to do a good thing. Kill yourself.
Politics is a dirty game. It's a dirty game. But you know,
trying to do command word on MLK. Like, your spell slot ain't high enough, mate. It ain't gonna happen. Like, holy shit. It's the same with John Lennon. I think a couple of years back, or it might have been a bit more recently, because he was convinced like someone was watching him when he was in New York and whatnot. Like round the years in which he died from fan gun incident. It was revealed that they did actually have a file on him, and they were tailing him because of the like sort of the message he was promoting, like in his songs with Yoko Ono and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, if you are John Lennon, I imagine that you are being followed around everywhere anyway.
Yeah, but you don't always think like, it's the Secret Service. Here they come, my loyal fans with their.
You know, you would. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
posters.
Well, you know, do you think that like the CIA and stuff contact famous people to be little informants and little propaganda messages, like mouthpieces? You know, maybe, and then there's like the stories of like famous actors and stuff being spies back in the day too. So maybe they were trying to like groom them for something like that too.
Like, compared to now, if we were talking modern day, I'd definitely say no, because some of the shit people say is just amazing. Like the shit people come out with on like a weekly basis. This is why I love Twitter. It's a cesspool, but in the funniest fucking way. If you're talking like 20, 30, 40 years ago, then I'd say I'd lean more towards perhaps there is something more to that.
I still think they're all dodgy, you know.
Well, I mean, John Cena got naked on stage, didn't he? At the Oscars, and there was a big theory about like, that's how he gets entrance into the Illuminati and all that. Just completely make a tit of himself. Although there was nothing to be made a tit about.
Well, that's the thing.
Fit.
That's the well, that's the thing with the Illuminati, is that every time something like unexpected happens, that like and say someone does get ridiculed in the media for appearing naked or whatever, or someone does shill for China or for some business, and everyone jumps on and says, "Oh, they're a shill for the Illuminati." But I think the most naive part of that is to think that the Illuminati is like one big secret cabal running the world.
Yeah.
Like, of course not. No one can agree on anything. You
Yeah,
think
like,
you're going to
there's
get all
no
the
way.
richest, most powerful people got together and said, "We all agree. Let's all seek the same thing." Not a chance.
There was
There's all different groups of people who have all got their own little cult of money, and they're all trying to manipulate things in their own way.
Yeah, like in about 20 years' time, I hands down believe we're all going to be living on one tiny little island, whilst Jeff Bezos is just like riding around shooting other billionaires for sport on his fucking climate change evacuation yacht.
Nah, it'll be Bill Gates, man. That'll be Bill Gates. Not even
Oh,
Bezos, man. Look at like look at like money wise how much richer Bill Gates is, and then as well as that, like look how much um like Bill Gates owns medicine. Bill Gates owns like half of the drug companies in the world,
yeah.
and he's like a tech guy. Like Bill Gates is the man who's going to be riding around on horseback, shooting the rest of the rich people for sport, while
Mark
we're all
Zuckerberg's
slaving
gonna be
away in a little
cowering.
cobalt mine.
He's gonna be cowering in his little cave. I just wanted to make Facebook.
But yeah, back to Manson because that was a
Yeah.
lovely tangent.
I
No, but
never
back to
managed to stay on
Manson.
topic on these videos. Holy shit.
No, that's all good. That's part of that's the
Oh,
conversation.
literally, like, I was talking to Anon, who's like another collaborator,
Yeah.
the other day. You've met him. I won't tell you where you've met him, but you know him.
Oh, is
Um,
he actually anonymous?
he's anonymous online.
Oh, okay.
I won't tell you where you've really met him until later.
Okay. That's fair. That's
Um,
fair.
but he was like, all of your videos can be boiled down into you going schizophrenic on a topic for 6 months.
Yeah, I
And
can see that. I can see where he's coming from.
yeah, because like this channel has like my original idea was I'm gonna release a video every month. It's gonna be great, and now I spend like 6 months researching like Charles Manson and fucking Ian Brady. Like Jesus Christ, I was 4 in the morning. I'm lying there on my side on my phone, watching a documentary on Ian Brady, being like, yeah, I could write about this in like a couple of hours, knowing full well I'm not gonna. I've just gone weirdly obsessed with one topic.
That's the beauty of it. I mean, I've theoretically I should be making one video at least a week, and I hardly ever stick to that. I've missed like, that's the YouTubing. You'd never
Yeah,
keep a real schedule. That's never keep a real schedule. It never
that and
pans
your
out anyway.
cult, the cult
Yeah,
that you
and the
have,
cult.
yeah.
You build your own cult of subscribers that parrot your opinions, that don't do any research and just repeat what you say. They just regurgitate what you said. So that's why you've got to be fact checked.
Editor Square, just very quickly pop up a bunch of subliminal messages on the screen. Do it. Go and spread these on Twitter. Betty White didn't die. She was secretly
Red
Jeffrey
pill by
Epstein this
memes.
whole time.
Oh,
Jeffrey
don't even get
Epstein
into
did
don't
kill
even,
himself.
Be careful with the Jeff Epstein stuff, bro.
Oh no. We had that conversation a couple of weeks back, didn't we? When like the first set of
Yeah,
logs
I
came
think
out,
so.
like Stephen
Yeah,
Hawking's was
yeah.
on there, and you're like, holy shit.
I don't. You know what is the thing though, right? Is that I don't put as much stock in the flight logs because the flight logs is just the list of people who have been on Jeff Epstein's plane. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
not the
necessarily
island itself.
It's not the island itself. But then, so like, I'm a fan of Louis Theroux, but I don't think he was like diddling kids with Jimmy Savile, even though they were kind of friends.
Yeah, I
And I
hope
think
not.
like if you are like a sick fuck, like a Charles Manson, like a fucking like an absolute sick fuck, I think part of the thrill is like having people around you who don't know, and like you make all these little like when you make a joke like, oh, I'd kill that guy, he's lucky I'm in a good mood today, and they think
Yeah,
you're joking. But
but
really,
you're
you're like,
not.
I could have actually killed that guy. I do that all the time. You guys just don't know, and I'm getting away with it. It's thrilling.
Yeah,
So I think that's part of it as well. Like I feel like getting all these rich and powerful people, like and incriminating them in such a way is also part of it. Like not even incriminating them, having them around you when you've just committed the crime and going back to normality. I reckon that's part of the rush.
yeah, 100%. Like, allegedly, because I know how litigious this motherfucker is before I say a word. Allegedly, I 100% believe Elon Musk has definitely killed someone. Allegedly.
Allegedly, where's he from? South Africa, isn't he?
Yeah, like supposedly he had his like he online. He's like, yeah, I had nothing growing up and all that. Like the fucking bullshit billionaire. Um, this is my this is how I started. I started from nothing. All I'm gonna say is blood diamonds because I've fact checked this and I spoke to a friend who practices law, and they told me like when talking about people like Elon Musk and like people in that circle, don't say anything that can be construed as fact.
In my opinion.
In my opinion, blood diamonds, Elon. What do you know about them? Allegedly.
Is he like? Does his family own? Does his family allegedly own
Allegedly, yeah, very allegedly.
diamond mines? Okay, I didn't know that about. I didn't know that about. I'm not an Elon Musk fan. I think he's allegedly a phony.
I think he's
Um,
allegedly a twat.
I think he allegedly invents things that have already been invented.
Yeah, like it's the tweet where he's like, oh, "What if we move some of the traffic underground?" And you're like,
Yeah, you've invented tunnels.
"Yeah,
Genius, you invented a tunnel.
wow."
Yeah. What a
Like
revolutionary idea. We haven't seen those before.
it's a train. It's a
Yeah,
train, Elon.
that's the Hyperloop, isn't it?
Yeah, the hyperloop that
Yeah,
runs like 1 mile an hour, allegedly.
it runs one. Yeah, it's literally just like a monorail from the
Yeah,
Simpsons. Monorail. You have to put it. Get
monorail.
your editor. I'm not even the YouTuber editor. Put that in there.
Don't do not worry,
Monorail.
I will monorail. But
Yeah,
on the topic of like people will believe anything someone wants them to believe, like with enough money and enough power and all that. Fucking the way Charlie did it, from what my understanding is drugs, like a lot of drugs.
yeah.
LSD being one of the main ones. Like they were high
You know,
constantly.
yeah. So the story I've heard with the LSD is that he would get everyone really fucked up on LSD without them knowing, and then he would convince them it was like a religious experience,
Yeah,
and he'd do crazy stuff like setting like a ball of tissue paper on fire in his hand, and he would convince them he'd like summoned fire and shit like that to make him seem like he was performing miracles, and because they were so fucked up, they were like, oh my god, he's amazing.
in a sober mind, it's a bit sad, but to like be proper like out of it on drugs, it must be like fucking wizardry. Um, but he was friends with Dennis Wilson for a while, and
Yeah.
if I am right, that is the. Let me just double check. Yeah, Beach Boys. Yeah,
Oh, fucking hell.
he was the. I believe he was the drummer.
That's crazy.
Just fact checking this
See,
before.
that's
Yeah.
why it's like, if that's true, that's why it's like so
Yeah, like
suspicious.
he was like properly enamored with him, and like he was already using like
Yeah.
cocaine and heroin anyway. Which isn't alleged, by the way, Beach Boys fans. The six of you that there are left in the world. This is fucking
If
proven
everybody had
because
an
he died at the age of
ocean.
39.
I'm a fan of the Beach Boys, alright? I'm not having
Oh.
this slander.
Oh no, he's gonna set his cult on
Surfing
me.
USA.
But yeah, he was like
Nah,
Dennis Wilson did go on a lot of these like fucking drug fueled, alcohol fueled benders with Manson and the cult, and like he supposedly, allegedly slept with a couple of them.
I can see that. I think it was like all cults devolve into sex cults. All cults are sex cults.
Yeah, but then it gets
Not
a
all
bit.
sex cults are murder cults, but all murder cults are also sex cults.
Yes, that's the quote of this section of the video.
The quote of the section.
I'm gonna put it up in like fucking Calibri, something fancy. Oh, and then under it, I'm just gonna put "I want to die" in wingdings.
No,
But yeah, he trying to use Dennis Wilson as sort of an in with the big music producers. Like he was
yeah.
like fucking like Terry Melcher. If I'm butchering that name, I'm very sorry. He was trying to get in with him, and met him through
Okay.
Dennis Wilson when he was living at the 0050 Celio Drive before Sharon Tate moved in and got
Yeah.
slightly murdered. Sorry, Sharon.
just a bit murdered.
Just a bit.
A
But
bit severed from mortal plane.
they had like the ranch, didn't they? They lived on like Splanch Ranch.
Splanch Ranch.
Splanch
I didn't know
Ranch.
that.
I might be saying it
Splanch
wrong.
Ranch. I'm not familiar.
SPAHN. Or Span?
Svan? Svan? Might could be
Svan?
Svan Ranch. Yeah,
Fan
maybe.
Ranch. But he was like,
Mm.
while they were there, they were just like completely sectioned off from like the outside world, fully under Charlie's influence.
Well, I think that's, you know what, if the whole crux of the video is to dissect whether Charlie was kind of born or made the way he was,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to kind of explore the fact that, like, if you go through his like seclusion and drugging up of the cult and his brainwashing of the cult, is like he kind of goes through the formula required to make someone into a murderer. Like, he literally did it. He convinced his disciples to go and commit a murder. So he is like you could look at what he did in his indoctrination and stuff as that's how you make someone into a psycho murderer. But he himself didn't really go through that. So it's like he was probably born a narcissistic, crazy person.
Well, yeah, from a young age, he was like in and out of prison. He was doing petty crime, thieving, stealing cars, holding people up, mugging, all that stuff. And his mum, and it's a brilliant quote, wasn't much better, we'll call it. There's a quote from Britannia on his like biography, like, this is who Charles Manson is. And I was reading it, and I just broke for a good 5 minutes because it's such a cruel description. It's like, where are we? Manson was born to a mother, Kathleen Maddox, who Biography.com described as both an alcoholic and a prostitute.
Shots
there's
fired!
no
Shots fired!
There's no beating around the bush there.
She didn't kill anyone though, right?
No, she went to prison for robbery at one point. But remember, she was an alcoholic and a prostitute.
Oh, controversial opinion though. Controversial opinion about robbery. It all depends who you rob, whether I think you're guilty or not.
Agreed.
You know,
Controversial.
Some people can afford to have some things taken off their hands.
Yeah, like if I am shopping and I see a woman stealing like baby stuff or like sanitary stuff, I ain't saying shit.
Yeah, yeah, of course not.
Because
In fact, you know what? I would. Fuck her, I would. No, I wouldn't. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch and fuck her baby. I'm doing Conor McGregor quotes and I'm not even fucking doing MMA videos.
Oh, it's the where the fuck is everyone? Me in the shop locating security guard for the woman stealing nappies. Oh my god.
He's gone off the deep end, McGregor.
Oh, 100%.
McGregor fans are like in a cult though as well. You know,
yeah, they believe he can do no wrong.
But I think you've got to. I think that's why they kind of like, if they're not famous themselves like a McGregor figure, they do kind of latch on to people that can attain them fame or can push their story out to more.
Yeah.
Because, you know, your cult always becomes stronger with the more people that you can use to feed it. Because, you know, you sit at the head of the pyramid as the cult leader, right? And everyone below you is just throwing it, passing everything up to you. They don't even get to keep anything. You get to dictate what they get.
Yeah, of course. It's
so like Tom Cruise with the Scientologists. You know, you might maybe cut this one out. They're very litigation-y.
Allegedly, everything we're about to say is alleged. No, fuck it. Fuck
everything we're
Scientologists.
about to say is alleged.
You dickheads.
Yeah, actually, they are kind of pussies.
You are
yeah,
such dick.
They are
You
kind
won't
of
sue
pussies.
us. And if you do sue us, you don't have our real names, so fuck you.
Mine is most definitely out there. And I've just blew you up. Shit.
Well, that's getting censored.
We'll go down together.
Looks like we're both getting sued now. Oh,
No, they definitely. My name is Public Square. My name is Public.
Yeah, his name is Bartholomew Richard Samuel Maboffin the Third, and you will address him as such.
I'm fairly sure it's like legitimately like in the bio of my channel.
Let me just double check this. I'm intrigued.
I don't even know. Maybe my email is. Maybe my email doxes me.
Oh, I hope not. If it is, you
I
need
don't really
to
care
change
either
that.
way.
For fuck's sake.
Nah, who cares? Listen, if they want to listen, if they impersonate my identity, they're just taking a load of debt.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no money. There's no money to be gained. There's nothing to be. I don't have credit.
Oh, I don't have credit. My credit score is
You
dead.
fucking idiots.
Oh, if they impersonate my identity, I hope that they enjoy paying off 70 grand worth of student debt. Like, good luck.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even have student debt. I'm just terrible with finances. And, someone else taking over for a while might actually do me some good.
It might fix the problems.
If I get locked out of my account, I might save some money.
I have to sign in to see the email address. What the shit?
Oh, that's good then. That's fine.
Let me do it on my phone.
I'll be fine then. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, but
But
you
yeah,
know
the,
all
the
these kids have fucking
Scientologists.
iPads.
Oh, it's fine.
Also, if you're an
Can't
iPad
write
kid
out.
watching this, stop, please.
Listen, I've been on YouTube for a while, my dude. Okay.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of enemies. Okay. It's what are they gonna do?
And it's
No.
quite interesting that you've made a lot of enemies because none of them are here anymore to like sort of defend themselves because as we both know, you have a cult, and they are all
Exactly,
definitely in
exactly.
barrels.
Well, yeah. Well, allegedly, you've got to say allegedly. They are in barrels.
What I was supposed
I-
to say
I've been-
allegedly on that one.
Yeah, I'll sue you. I was what you needed to be worried about all along.
Oh no, I knew it. Shit, he has my home address. I'm fucked.
But so like, if you are starting a cult, you get your little group of followers to begin with, and then, you reach for somebody. If you can't do it yourself, you reach for somebody who can acquire a bigger audience, like
Yeah.
Tom Cruise with the Scientologists.
I mean, Tom Cruise himself is just mental.
He is mental, but you've got to imagine that the Scientologists made him that way.
No, I genuinely think
You don't
Tom
think
Cruise
so?
is just nuts because he's one of those people in Hollywood who's like, I do all my own stunts, and he means that to a fucking like mental degree. He's like, oh yeah, I'll jump out of a helicopter with no parachute. I'm Tom Cruise.
Well, I've actually got a conspiracy about that.
Ooh,
Right? I don't think he actually does all of his stunts.
ooh.
I've got a conspiracy. I think that the reason he gets like a stuntman credit and likes to take credit for all of his stunts is because all the shots where he's like running,
Yeah.
they're real. Like that's it. Like if they've got to have him run around with like explosions behind him, I think he'll do it, and that counts as him doing
Yeah.
his own stunts.
Allegedly.
I think that's kind of well, I think allegedly I think that's how they get away with it, because like Jackie Chan is somebody who does all of their own stunts, or he did. He's too old now. But
Yeah.
when he was at the height of his career, he sort of did his own stunts, and every time he was making a film, it would be constant updates of all the injuries he's acquiring
Yeah.
from throwing himself off buildings and accidentally. I think there's a scene in I think it's Super Cop.
Yeah.
I think it's Super Cop. It might be Super Cop 2. And he's in real life hanging onto a helicopter with like no harness or whatever because they couldn't CGI it out. So he's just hanging on bare hands to the strut of a helicopter, and then I'm fairly sure he's getting bonked off buildings. They're flying a real helicopter into buildings to hit Jackie Chan against buildings, and I'm fairly sure like he broke his collarbone or something doing it.
Yeah, I think I've read that.
And then there's another one in another film, I think it's Rumble in the Bronx, where he jumps off I don't think it's the Golden Gate Bridge, but it's definitely a bridge. Maybe it's in Boston. Maybe, I don't know. He jumps off a bridge onto a barge, and he broke his ankle because he actually did it.
Yeah.
And he just did the rest of the film in like a wheelchair, but like with one leg in the wheelchair, and just filmed from the waist up.
Those are our movie recommendations
still-
of the week.
Yeah, he still had all the stunts to do though. So
Yeah.
he just so guys who actually do their own stunts, they get absolutely destroyed, and you hear about it, but you never hear about Tom Cruise fell from a skyscraper and broke his back. Fortunately, he's not paralyzed, and he'll be filming again in a week.
Because of
You never hear that.
Scientology.
And he goes on Ellen, and he's like, Scientology cured me. I just
got-
feel so happy and great alive.
I got visited by aliens, and he was pretending to be the tax man. Like, what the fuck? Again, this is all alleged because we can't. So far, we're getting sued by Tom.
Everybody. Bring
The
them
Beach
on.
Boys, you,
Yep.
and probably
Probably.
biography.com, and Elon,
Probably. I think I
and Bill
mentioned Louis
Gates,
Theroux earlier as well.
and
He's
Louis.
probably not going to be happy. Yeah.
Moral of the
God,
story: we have no money.
That's okay. Money's you don't need money. The thing about gasoline and bullets, they're cheap. I said your name again. I'm gonna do that whole line again because it was a banger line. See, the thing about money, you don't need money because bullets and gasoline, they're cheap.
I'm just gonna
So
leave
if it
that
all
in
goes
with my
south,
name redacted.
it's because I know you on such a personal level. I can't
Oh.
I can't actually forget your name.
We're actually lovers.
Yes. Just don't tell anybody.
Don't tell
My
anyone.
wife will be very upset if she finds out.
As will my 2 wives and 3 husbands.
I'll be. My husband will be devastated.
He'll
Please.
be devastated. He thought he was my only beard, and now I have 2.
Oh.
But anyway, let's move on
yeah.
to the actual, like, the murders themselves.
Okay, so this is the bit where I'm like lacking in knowledge because I'm more of a cult guy and less of a true crime guy.
Okay, so I have a thick description here.
Okay.
So I'll just read it verbatim first. Like, on the night of August 8th, 1969, the Manson family members Atkins Watson, Linda Kasabian, and Krenwinkel, that's an awful name. Is any wonder he turned to a cult? Broke into Terry Melcher's former home, now rented by Hollywood starlet Sharon Tate and her husband Roman Polanski. Whether Manson meant to have Tate murdered over Melcher's remains debatable. Regardless, what happened in 150 Cielo Drive on that night shocked the nation. Tate, 8 months pregnant with Polanski's child, was stabbed 16 times by Atkins. A rope was slung around her neck and she was hung from the rafters. The other end of the rope was tied to her friend Jay Selbring's neck. He had also been stabbed and shot as well. Atkins wrote "pig" in Tate's blood on the house. Heiress Abigail Folger was stabbed 28 times. Her boyfriend and friend of Roman Polanski, Wojciech Fryowoski? Question mark?
That's an interesting name.
Yeah. Was shot twice, bludgeoned 13 times, and stabbed 51 times. In the driveway, 18-year-old Stephen Parent, a friend of the home's caretaker, had been cut and shot to death. Manson wasn't surprisingly pleased with the chaos and destruction wreaked on 150 Cielo Drive, so he brought the 6 Manson family members, including Leslie Van Houten, to the home of supermarket owner Leona LeBlanca and his wife Rosemary the following night to show them how to do it. Leona LeBlanca was stabbed with a bayonet. The first stroke cut his throat. The word "war" was carved into his chest. Rosemary was also stabbed 41 additional times.
It's very brutal, isn't it? It's a lot of stabbing.
Yeah, like there's definitely like an air of brutality behind it, like a complete like disassociation from the fact that this is a human person. Like especially
yeah, it's you can tell by like writing pig and by like hanging the bodies
Yeah,
and,
that's
and the amount of brutality that it's definitely a message, and with the knowledge that they were trying to like start a race war by framing it on the Black Panthers, you know,
yeah.
it's kind of like you can see the demented idea behind it.
Pardon me. It was just like this whole ordeal, like for the people on the receiving end of it, it must have sort of been, well, for starters, out of nowhere. Like, out of
Yeah.
everyone to be picked to start this so-called race war and to start this so-called end of days, they picked an 8-month pregnant lady an 18-year-old and like people who had nothing to do with any of that insanity. And I think that's what captivated people most about it, because it was so out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, random attack, right? It
Yeah.
was just random. Well, I mean, it was random violence in the sense that the targets they chose could have been anybody on that street that night.
Yeah. I feel like as long
So,
as
like,
it was
wrong
someone
place,
rich
wrong
and
time,
powerful,
right?
I feel like that was the
You
MO.
know, I just think it was as long as they were white. As long as there was white people killed.
Yeah.
White people live in the hills. Let's go to the hills to find some well off white people to kill.
White
'Cause
people have
I'll murder
tacky
the rest of the
houses.
well off people.
I fucking hate the fucking... It's like, even the way like they'll take like a lovely Victorian house. Like, I'm a very gothic human being myself. Love a good Victorian house. And they'll just fucking gut it and make it this crap modern shit. And you're like, just leave it alone. It's a nice house. You've made it ugly, Jeremy.
Jeremy.
This is directed at a neighbour, by the way.
Fuck's sake, Jezza.
Jeremy, you ruined that house. It looks completely odd to all of the other houses on the street now, you
The
twat.
awnings were original, Jeremy.
were
The awnings
original.
were original. Handcrafted.
Yeah. I built them with my own hands in a previous life. But after all of this sort of mental violence and like the brutal fucking shit that went on, obviously they all got arrested. Like, I'm so surprised.
I'm shocked, to be fair.
Yeah.
Did they even have any evidence?
No, only the mountain of evidence that was there. I don't feel like that would have been enough to acquit. If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. He just went for a drive, Your Honour. He just went for a drive.
I like to imagine the police rock up during the murder.
Yeah.
And they're like, stop right there, you're under arrest. And they're like, what for? And they're like, murder. And they're like, how why would you say that? And I'm like, I don't know, the bodies, the blood, the murder weapons. And the murderer's just like, prove it, loser.
Try me, bitch.
Prove it.
It's
Prove it.
literally what O.J. Simpson did.
True. I think that was more political than anything though, right?
Well, the fact that he got off? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
One of the
It had to be.
jurors, like, in an interview said that it felt more of a political decision than anything else. Because,
That's crazy.
like,
Surely that person should be in trouble for saying that. Like for admitting it, even if it was the case, you shouldn't be admitting that, right? That's like rap snitching on yourself.
I think they should get her on more juries, mainly just as a wild card.
For every crime that I commit, you mean?
Yeah, like every crime you commit, she has to be there just as a wild card. Because we don't know what her
No matter
political
what.
aligning is now. Could be anything.
Nah, they're flat earther, dude. Flat earther. Flat earther.
So they were all arrested. Manson himself was sentenced to death, but it was commuted to a life sentence. Like, so he was, I think it was 9 life sentences in total he was sentenced to.
Damn.
And he died in prison. But the other members, so we'll go through them, and I want you to give honest opinions on all of them.
Yes, of course.
So we're going to start with Linda Kasabian. After 2 failed marriages and the birth of her daughter, she joined Manson's commune in 1969. During the Tate LaBlanca murders, Kasabian waited outside. The prosecutor called her a star witness, and she was granted immunity in exchange for her testimony. At trial, she told jurors Manson's women did anything and everything for him. She reportedly changed her name and moved to the Pacific Northwest.
I mean, that's someone who kind of got away with it, right?
Yeah.
When you think about it, they kind of got away with it.
But I suppose there's not much to charge for there. Like, she didn't do the murders. And in the jury's case, or like the prosecution's case, it'd be good to have someone on the inside be like, yeah, he did that. That was him. He's the man you're looking for, Your Honor. The glove fits him.
No, I get that. Like as a witness, as a snitch,
As
as an informant, definitely valuable.
Yeah.
I just feel you can't you just lie about giving people a deal?
I mean, you can.
I can
100%.
just lie about. I'd just lie if I was in the room. I'd have been like, "Don't worry, we're going to give you full immunity. No, you're gonna do like 10 hours community service. You were a victim, okay? You were forced into this." And then the second they tell me the information I want, you're like, "Oh, you're going to jail, idiot!
Like, bang,
You
death penalty.
idiot!
You
Death
die.
penalty."
So we'll move on
yeah.
to Mary Berner, unless you've got anything else.
No, nothing for that.
So Mary met Manson in 1967, and she's often seen as the first follower.
Okay.
The 15th of April 1968, she gave birth to his son, who she named Valentine. Weirdly enough, Berner was charged for the murders of Gary Hinman, but later received immunity
Right.
as she had testified against fellow Manson followers Bobby Briselli and Susan Atkins. However, in 1971, Brunner assisted other members in an attempt to hijack a plane to break Manson out of prison armed with 100 rifles. As a result, she received a 20-year to life sentence, although she was released on parole in 1977.
All I can say is that's a real one right there. Innit? That's like if you had to assemble your crew to like do the heist, that's the one you want.
Yeah.
That's the one who's loyal.
The
You know?
woman with 100 rifles.
Yeah. Planning to break me out of prison with them with 100 rifles. Was the plan to drop 100 rifles on the prison yard and like I would like lead an army of prisoners out?
I don't like how this has slowly turned to this is what I'm going to do. Is this when your cult inevitably collapses?
when I finally get arrested for
Yeah.
my cult activities, that's how I'm gonna escape. My girlfriend's gonna come over with 100 rifles and drop them on the prison yards, and all the prisoners will assemble behind me like the Avengers.
Yeah, like Avengers Endgame. Holy shit. So Lynette Squeaky Froman is next. Whilst many members were on trial and testifying, Froman and other Manson family members camped outside and spouted their devotion to Manson at passers-by in the media. Froman was never linked to any of the Tate LaBlanca murders, but she was eventually charged and convicted for the attempted assassination of President Gerald R. Ford. What?
Huh? This is that's news to me. I didn't know this was part of the case.
Nor did I. Holy shit.
Now,
She was convicted.
hang on a minute,
and
because
received
if I
life
write like a mock plan on killing the president, they could say theoretically tried to kill the president, right? So what does it mean?
What, an attempted assassination?
You like did she rock up with 100 rifles?
I don't think she's got the sway of Mary. I don't think she has that sort of sway.
Not as much of a real one.
Not as much of a real one.
However, an attempted assassination of a president is a little bit badass. The Japanese would be happy.
Yeah. Oh, they'd love it.
Yeah, the
I
Japanese.
can't believe that.
Oh, I don't even want to talk
She-
about it. It's
She
crazy.
attempted to kill him when he was boarding Air Force One. Holy shit.
She ran at him with a knife or something. What did she do?
Let me find out. Hold on.
She tried to push him
is-
into the plane's engine.
Like that one scene from GTA 5.
Yeah. She threw him into the plane's engine.
Holy shit. Attempted assassination of Gerald Ford in San Francisco. No. Yes? No. Wrong one. Jesus Christ. Was it Sacramento? It was Sacramento.
Okay.
She
Sacramento.
attempted to shoot him with a semi-automatic pistol.
Nice.
What?
Nice. She pulled out the blicky. She had like a Glock or something.
She pulled up the blicky.
She
My
came
face
strapped. She
went
brought a tool.
squeaky. Comes with the fucking blicky.
I mean, all you can
Holy
say is that,
shit.
all these people were very much maybe they were crazy before, because that's
Some of them
insane.
have got to be like, that's mental.
That is actually crazy.
Yeah, so she was convicted and received a life sentence for that, but she was released on parole in 2009, and in 2018
How?
she published a book called Reflection about her life.
What? Okay, I don't even
Which
I don't even
is
have a response for
it
that.
what?
I just hope the part of the book is like chapter 15, assassinating the president.
Chapter 7, that one time I met Charles Manson and accidentally got involved in a cult.
That's,
So the
is it accidental? You have to go along with it to a point, don't you?
yeah, like the blurb for her book is, you've likely heard about the murders. This is what happened during, before, and after them, along with California beaches and bluffs, San Francisco, Hatebreed, the Redwoods, to Topanga
Oh,
Canyon,
Topanga.
Topanga Canyon,
Yeah.
Beverly Hills, and the Susana Mountains, the outback of the Mojave Desert. Oh shit, she's a Fallout New Vegas fan. Holy shit.
She went to Good Springs.
Truth
Oh,
is,
the president's the person who shot her in the head.
oh no,
The president was Benny.
oh no, 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 no.
What it is that she tried to do the plot line where you kill Mr. House.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
no,
She
no.
tried to do that plot line.
The plot line where you're following Caesar's Legion and you have to like assassinate the president of the NCR.
Yeah, that's exactly where she goes with Caesar's Legion for this
No.
playthrough.
Oh no! Does that make Manson Caesar?
Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar! Oh,
They're a gang of fucking weirdos, aren't they, actually? When you look at the list of shit they get up to, they're actually fucking crazy. Absolute mad lads.
degenerates like you belong on a cross. Attempts to shoot Ford. Oh my god! It's about the Charles Manson I perceived, and the gathering of people prepared to survive either a revolution or the static intuitions that were systematically trading all our vital necessities for money. What are you talking about, Lynette?
Right, that's fucking... That's a lot of big words to try and sound smart.
If I use the big words, I can write better. Oh my
No, it's
God.
like that right there. That's like justification, like retrospectively, right?
Yeah, like, really, when you think about it, it's capitalism's fault.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is.
In
But, yeah, I
reality,
did
you
all
are
these
mental.
things. I did all these things, but it was capitalism's fault in my defense.
In my defense, Jeff Bezos
capitalism.
has been to space and I haven't, so...
In my defense, my Temu still hasn't arrived.
Do you reckon she orders from Temu? She's
Yeah,
got
everyone orders from Temu. It's 4 a.m. You've been scrolling endlessly, and it's like the 50 millionth ad on TikTok. It breaks you down. It wears you down. It's a war of
I'm so
attrition.
glad I don't own TikTok. I'm so glad.
Well, you know what? You'd know more about the crazy conspiracy theories if you did.
Yeah. It's just Steven Crowder, like, fully divorced, crying on his TikTok fucking homepage every day. That's all I imagine TikTok is for the conspiracy theorists.
You know what's crazy about Steven Crowder? Is
Yeah.
like how how fast all that fell apart.
What, his
Like,
whole
obviously,
louder
he's
with
still got
prouder
the
crap?
show. Yeah, but he's still got the show and that. But like, how quickly? Like, obviously, I haven't seen it since the big fallout of everybody. But like, one after another, his whole team left him. Like,
Honestly,
and then
fair.
his wife left him. His whole team left him, and then his
Oh,
wife left him.
oh,
Like, that's
you know
crazy.
Satan was fucking like on the edge of like pure relief hearing that man's cries, just
You know
sobbing
that
into his
that's
pillow every night.
But that's the problem with him, is that even if he was right about everything he said, which you can't agree with fucking everything he says, and you can't fucking hate everything he says either, because he's in the political sphere, so obviously he's going to
Yeah,
be trying to fucking angle for you. But like,
granted, he's very
even
right
if
wing.
oh, he's super right wing, but even
Yeah,
even if he was like right about every single point, he was so fucking full of himself that no one wanted to listen to him. Even
yeah,
someone like me was kind of sympathetic at times to some of the shit he was saying. I can't listen to Stephen Crowder be so up his own fucking ass.
yeah. It's the clip from the H Bomber guy video where he's
Hmm?
like talking about the ice caps melting from the climate change video, where he fucking kicks a hole through his own wall to shout at Ben Shapiro.
Oh shit! Yeah,
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 like,
yeah.
who's gonna buy the houses, Ben? Aquaman!
It's
Which,
it's
honestly, fair. Stephen, like, fucking Momoa can buy any house from me he wants. He can have me. Take me, Jason. Take me to a better
that's
place.
see that's another thing though, is that like when people talk about politics, like right there with Crowder and Ben Shapiro, it's like for the longest time it's like them two were like lumped together, but realistically they're so like politically opposed to each other. It's crazy to think they're on the same side.
Yeah, well, I mean, any respect anyone had for Ben Shapiro surely went down the pisser when he cried for an hour about the Barbie movie.
You know what, I think Ben Shapiro's. I've hated Ben Shapiro for a long time. He's a bit of a clown. I don't know
Oh,
why we'll go
100%.
why we're going into politics, but he's quite a big clown, and I think his relationship with his sister is fucking strange.
Oh, yeah. I feel like
But
he's the political equivalent of a lol cow, to a degree.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely he's definitely a meme. He's definitely a lol cow.
Yeah.
But not to say that that in the past I didn't enjoy, because I definitely did enjoy a couple Ben Shapiro pwns the libtards compilation videos. I did used to get into a few of those, but it was more just because, like, well, actually, I think you'll find
Yeah, like,
statistically.
he's trained as like a public speaker, like that's his whole gig. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
oh yeah, he pwns the libtards. No, he's just talking down to a college student who hasn't had his media training. Like, that's
yeah,
all that
yeah.
comes down to.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. It's a shame.
Yeah.
It's a
Anyway.
shame that they're all fucking political clowns. To be fair, you can see why because this shit's not new. Like this
No.
political nonsense that like everyone gets wrapped into talking about, and all. Everyone goes on side tangents about fucking politics. But
Yeah,
like
it's a cult within itself.
that's been happening since the beginning of fucking time. And to be fair to Charles Manson, his cult
Oh
was
god.
a direct epithet to that to the mainstream cult, right?
Oh, I'm so glad you
I
said
think that's
that.
where
I
it
was, I
comes
was
from.
worried about the sentence starting with, to be fair to Charles Manson.
No, but like,
That could go
not
off
to
in
be
a
fair
myriad
to
of
him as
different
in,
ways.
not to be fair to him as in like, let's it's fine to kill people and start racist cults, but in the sense that there is a status quo that everyone fucking hates, and no matter what side of the political aisle you're unhappy with the system, and maybe cults like Manson and people like Manson are just a reaction to that system. So maybe it is capitalism's fault
Oh, I blame
in some
capitalism for
crazy
everything.
roundabout way. You
Every
know,
week when I get my wage slip, I blame capitalism.
it's I feel like we should just go to some sort of feudal system where the strongest takes all.
Well,
I
it's
could
been
take a few
nice
heads
knowing
off me,
you
you
if
know.
that's what's about to happen.
I could we just go back to the Dark Ages. I could the Vikings used to challenge each other to a fight to the death for everything they owned. That's a great system. That's a great system. Man. Say like some you get back from fighting the war for the Lord, and you come back and you've got a bit of money, you've got a sword and a shield, but not enough to like live. And so you just go to the richest guy in town and you say, I challenge you to a hand-on, and that means we're going to fight to the death for everything you own. And I don't own anything, so it's kind of a shit deal for you, innit, bud? And then you just slaughter some rich guy who owns a farm in the village and just take everything he owns. That's what society should be. That's what society should be about.
I was so invested in that, but also the word Viking is will forever be triggering to me, and we both know why, and neither of us are going to elaborate on it any further than we need to.
No, I'm gonna say a little piece about it. Assassin's Creed, it was terrible, and that's definitely what we were talking about.
That's 100% what we mean.
Broken upon release, it was.
Oh, they couldn't just let me be a Viking. I don't want to be a Viking. I never wanted to be a Viking.
Yeah, to be fair, I would rather have been a bank robber.
Yeah, I sort of fell into being a Viking.
Circumstances transpired that I ended up raiding the English countryside.
It do kind of happen sometimes.
You're going out for a few grogs with the boys, for a bit of mead with the boys.
You fucking grogs.
And then all of a sudden you're in a British monastery, an English monastery.
Slaughtering the vicar. I wouldn't be able to enter any of the churches either. I'm banned when I step on holy ground, so I'll just watch.
That's all right. I'll be your sleeper agent.
Thank you. I'll just get on your back. You piggyback me in, and we'll stab priests.
No, you know what we'll do? We'll get a big overcoat and we'll get on each other's shoulders.
Oh my god!
You get on my shoulder. You get on my shoulders.
Yeah.
You'll never know.
Holy shit! We're just one really tall guy.
Yes, it's exactly right.
Just priest, can you heal the legion on my stomach stab?
And then the coat opens and I stab him.
Yeah. Oh, holy shit. If any of this doesn't come out on the actual nature versus nurture video, this is a different video entirely as well. I'm just gonna cut this down into its own little video separately as well, because this has been fucking fun.
This leads to a podcast.
Yeah, I've already got one that's in fucking development hell. Don't get me started.
Oh, sorry. I'll just do guest appearances. Don't worry.
Me and Anon started one, and I'm sitting on about 4 episodes that I still haven't finished editing.
You gotta get them done.
I know, it's been a year. It's been a year since we recorded those episodes. We went to a really fancy studio. We paid out our ass for the equipment. We were there for 6 hours recording, and then we went back and did another day. And
that's crazy.
All of the material is there. It's ready to be edited. I've edited half of all of them.
That's.
And then I got depressed.
Is that 6 hours of non-stop audio? Twice?
It's pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy.
Half of it isn't usable because at one point we get really sleep deprived towards the end of the first day, because we'd been down somewhere. I won't dox where we were, and we were just out and about. And we were like, okay, I have the studio ready. Let's just go and do it. And at this point, we've been out non-stop doing things and sorting things out for days, to the point where we were getting back to the hotel where we were fucking midnight every night, getting up at 6 a.m. and just going again.
That's the grind, though. That's the grind.
Yeah, and we got so sleep deprived. Anon's partner, who I won't dox at all, makes her first ever appearance on the internet, doing anything internet related.
That's cute. That's cute.
The second episode that we recorded.
And as you say that, I feel like I may have figured out who Anon is.
Yeah, I think you have.
Yeah, I think I've just figured out who Anon is.
Yeah.
As you say that.
For the record, Anon's a very close personal friend, as is Not So Lethal. I've not just started messaging people that I can sort of talk to online.
You met me on Omegle just before it closed down.
I did. I did before it closed down because of all of the sex trafficking and fucking rape that was going on.
And now I'm poor because I've got no. Oh, I mean,
He's not got a line anymore.
oh. No,
Holy
you should do
shit.
your podcast. You should. And thanks
I
for
should.
having me on. Whatever this video turns into, I'm always happy to
Oh.
ramble for an hour.
Well, you're already in the nature versus nature video at this point anyway. So
That's good.
I'm just gonna put the whole thing up slightly edited as its own separate thing. Like this whole like fucking I don't know how long we've been on call for.
I've got my recording at 1 hour and 50 seconds. Just
Yeah,
under.
I've got yeah, that's where I'm at right now myself.
Yeah,
Oh, this is mad.
that's alright.
Mainly because I've just come home, like I came home from like work, shot you a message. I'm so glad you messaged me by the way, because in my head, before checking my phone, my first thing to do was, oh, I'm gonna go and have a shower and a sleep.
Yeah. That is also the grind. That's what
That
the
is the
grind wears on
grind.
you.
The grind.
Yeah,
We
no,
both work in
um,
the same industry. We can say that it's a fucking grind.
Yeah, it is the grind. No, I've been excited to do it. To be fair, so I was gonna pester you no matter what.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this, to be honest with you, especially like this type of like content, because I'm a big fan of getting people involved in projects that I've got going anyway. Because it's different compared to Twitch, I'd say, because
Oh,
Anon
yeah.
predominantly Twitch streamer.
Okay.
He streams on Twitch, and then he'll like divvy up the VODs, put them on YouTube. He's been releasing Borderlands VODs, and because of the horrendous fucking train crash that was the Borderlands movie,
Yeah.
his videos have been doing really well.
That's
But-
that's brilliant.
There's always like a sense of community with Twitch, as much of a health fucking fire that is. YouTube, I feel, is very, I don't want to say lonely, but the process of, because behind the scenes I'm like a one-man band, so to speak.
Yeah.
I have a script editor called Dogs, who essentially just makes sure all of my scripts don't get me fucking sued. And like she makes sure I haven't said any jokes that are too 2012 Filthy Frank.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then I've got a thumbnail artist called Spicy Pudding. He's on Twitter, and
Nice.
I met him through Anon because he was hanging out in Anon's chats, and he followed him on Twitter, so I followed back, and we just started messaging like, "Oh, you're an artist. Your art's quite good. Do you fancy 40 quid?"
Yeah. Nah, you know what? I'm really impressed by the production value of your channel. Actually,
Oh, the production value is through the floor, my friend.
I like it though. You can tell you put effort in, man. You can tell you put effort in. You've got your background music. You've got that edited well. You don't something that annoys me with small channels usually is they'll and I don't, you know what, and I'm so cautious not to do it myself because it genuinely irritates me is when they put background music in and they don't mix the audio properly, so you
Yeah.
can just hear the background music and just muffled.
Admittedly, if you go
Shit
back on
annoys
my
me.
earlier shit, I was watching through one the other day because I was thinking about doing like something similar to what I've done recently with the mental health video. Is like now that I've got sort of a relatively good idea of how to do things, redoing it, re-recording it, changing everything, re-editing it, all that jazz. And the fucking audio on that is horrific because I was using a £10 microphone that I got out of the Cashies, which I love Cashies. Cashies is great.
See, I really like that video though.
The mental health in you video, the original one, I don't like.
You think? You really?
Yeah, it was sort of the whole reason why I ended up being like, no, I want to redo this because
I like it. I like it.
it felt a little bit like the original one, at least felt like a rushed product because at the time I was still keeping myself to deadlines.
Yeah.
I was like I want to get this out for this date and I'm going to do it to this date, and then everything else surrounding the video suffered. because I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I'm
Oh
like,
man, you see, you say that, but like that's like every week for me. It's like, oh, I've got one day off before the next UFC event. I've got to make a video on
Yeah.
that day, and then I don't. I was supposed to do it today. I haven't made it. I want to make it tomorrow before work. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
because we
have
were
like
talking about this on on Saturday day, weren't we, when we saw each other? Because you were like,
yeah,
oh yeah, message me tonight if you need to. Like UFC's on, so I'm gonna be up all night.
yeah, yeah. That's the beauty of the sport. It's trash. It's horrible. I hate it, but I love it. I love to hate it. No, it's not
Oh,
fair, man. It's not fair. All the Americans have it easy. The Americans get to watch it at a nice time, and then if you're an American who wants to get into the sport, all you need to do is drive to Las Vegas, walk
and
into the
start taking
UFCPI,
stats.
and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, go on. We'll put you on a TV show real quick. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Did you wrestle in high school? Of course you did. This is America."
yeah,
You
of
ready?
course you did. You're a fucking
But then you've
psychopath
got
from
like
birth.
no, but then you've got like decent fighters from like Europe and Asia who have got like 12-0. You've not been beaten by anybody, and they're knocking everybody out in like a round, and they can't get into the UFC because fucking some random hillbilly wrestled in high school, and
See, I don't
he just so happens to have an American passport.
see. I don't follow the UFC as much as you. I do try and catch it when I can, which is helpful in the job that we're in. We both do quite.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, true, true.
I'll give this much away. It's the hospitality sector of the industry. I'm not willing to give any more of that up because my dignity requires it because I have a fucking degree and it makes me depressed.
Oh, that's
Like
that's true.
I have a fucking
That's
degree
true,
in
actually.
astrophysics and I work in hospitality.
Yeah, well,
I don't remember the last time I
blame
did proper math.
capitalism.
The most
Yeah,
math I do
that's a
these
good
days
point.
compared to what I did when I was in uni is, oh, that'll be $12.99, please. How do you want to pay? Cash. Oh, you give me a 20.
You've just given it all away.
No! Oh, who fucking cares? I work in a pub. Who fucking cares anymore? I work in a fucking pub and it's all going downhill. I don't remember
Yeah,
the
but you
last
know
time
what?
I smiled.
No, you know what? You're gonna be a famous YouTuber who does like narrative content, and it's gonna be great.
Oh no, mate.
See it? It's in the stars for you.
If I want to be anything, I want to be deceased. By the time I am 30, because I already feel 50 in the body,
No, I'm telling
70
you,
in the mind.
you're gonna have a pretty successful YouTube channel. You're gonna make a pretty successful podcast, and then you're gonna have like 3 more podcasts like that Windagoon dude.
Yeah, and
She's
then I'm
got a
going to ruin it
podcast on
all
every channel.
by going out to buy cupcakes one day.
You're gonna do Steven Crowder style.
All of my friends are going to leave me, so is my wife.
It's gonna be so insufferable that everyone fucking
Yeah.
leaves you.
And
Oh.
honestly, that's what I enjoy most about like this weird hobby that I have turned into a micro obsession is just I don't give a shit. Like I keep as much as much as I can about myself as private as I can. Like this is the first, like this recording's the first
Yeah.
time anyone has ever said my name in a recording.
Of course, it was me.
Yeah, of course it had to be. It was in the stars.
Well, you know, I'm not. It was always going to be me. I'm far too mentally disabled. I've got CTE. I've got CTE, man. It's not
Oh.
good.
From
I've been kicked in the
from
head
one
too many times.
From one mentally challenged person to another, I salute you.
Been kicked in the head too many times, man. I forget the days of the week still.
He doesn't know where he is. Secretly, he's in a basement in Colombia being held hostage.
You know what? That's a video I should do. To be fair, not a video of me being held captive in Colombia, but a video on fucking brain damage.
And
That's
why
what I
you
should do.
have it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like the joke about me having like CTE isn't like completely like false. Like I've been kicked in the head,
Yeah.
and since being kicked in the head, I don't feel like I'm the same person.
Like
I'm
you're
like,
quite
there's
an
a-
avid.
It's a crazy one when I think about it because like I got kicked in the head once by accident.
Yeah,
You
you're
get
quite
me?
avid into the sport, aren't you? Of UFC,
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
you give it a go
Yeah.
yourself.
Give it a good go. Yeah, I got kicked in the head. Wasn't like sparring on it was an accident. I got kicked in the head. And I got kicked in the head pretty hard. And like since then, I've felt like a little bit off cognitively. And I've just put that down to like like some sort of concussion, but it never went away.
Yeah.
And I just think about people who get punched in the head like consistently for a living, punched and kicked in the head consistently for a living, and the sports that they're in, like be like, oh yeah, but it's, it's as safe as we can possibly make it. But there's no way one punch or kick can like actually change you. It can change you, change your personality.
It's probably why Ronda Rousey went to WWE.
Well, that's what she claims. To be fair, that's what she claims.
In reality, it's probably the money.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the pride.
Yeah, because it's like
I think she was
WWE.
smart enough. Well, yeah, she was smart enough to know she was done in the UFC.
Yeah.
But also smart enough to know that she was a fighter and needed to be perceived that way. Otherwise, her ego would be shattered.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
like a move to WWE, like not just from a monetary standpoint, from like an image standpoint, makes a lot of sense. Even though the WWE is so fake, and I miss the days of WWF and The Undertaker and Big Daddy and Samoa Joe and the Great Gali. I miss him.
Those
I
were
miss
the
all
days.
of them.
You know who I miss? Chris Benoit.
Oh my god. Such Mick Foley, and Cactus Jack.
Fuck.
Oh, just the different like fucking like schizophrenic fucking aliases he came up with was fucking brilliant.
See, that's all brain damage, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
That man
It's
got
gotta be.
thrown off Hell in the Cells more often than not.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Didn't he get like explicitly told not to do that shit, and he still did it?
It's very
Yeah.
explicitly about like health and safety. People are like, don't, no, bad.
'Cause that was that
concrete
the
floor.
The first time he was thrown off of the cage for the Hell in a Cell. That was unscripted. Like they'd written it in, and they got told not to do it, and then they went off script, right?
Yeah.
And he
100%.
broke his back or some shit, didn't he? And
Yeah,
was like
he was
he
out for,
recovered,
like,
but he
6
broke his
months.
back. That's fucking crazy.
Like I have no knowledge of
that's dedication.
Oh, 100%. Like I have no knowledge of like modern day WWE because it just doesn't interest me. Like
Yeah, I grew up when I started. So I kind of got into both WWE and the UFC specifically, rather than MMA at the same time. But I kind of thought they were like a similar thing because I didn't understand one was scripted. I didn't understand one was scripted. And then once I found out one was scripted, I went with the one that was more authentic, and that's kind of like where I stopped following.
funnily enough, I sort of fell out of love with WWE the same time I came out as gay. Which I'm still, to this day, trying to work out. Is there a correlation there? Like,
That's brilliant.
Like, weirdly enough, I got really into Pokemon. And, like, fucking... Oh, what was the show? What was that show called on Netflix? I was like, it was like 1 month, and I like... Is it like Beastars or some shit? And it's just like
oh my
fairy
god,
propaganda.
Beastars! Aren't they making another season of it? One last season of it?
Oh, probably. Like, I got into that.
Beastars is
full month.
no joke, and I'll say it publicly. Beastars is a guilty pleasure of mine. I have had so many nights watching Beastars, laughing hysterically. Like season 2, the animation takes such a hit. It takes such a hit budget-wise. I think
Bad.
it goes bad. It does get bad. But like it starts off good, so like it's like the entire budget went on the first episode of season 2 because that kind of holds up to season 1, and then the rest of it is
Just
like
nosedives.
we're just going to show a static image with a mouth moving. It's quite bad. It is quite bad. But I enjoy it for the sheer cringe comedy. I won't lie. I watch it unironically to laugh at how cringe and shit it is. I really enjoy it.
I've had many nights watching it and many nights afterwards on Rule 30. No. I say that, and there's like fucking, like on Twitter, I think I've shared like one like fairy related post, like just reposted it. It was like art of, like, oh, supermarkets as animals. I was like, that's kind of funny. Because
The
Waitrose looks
fairy
posh as
mafia.
shit. Yeah, very
fairy
very
mafia,
fucking.
man.
So I reposted it, and then Shadow Fair was a thing that I got hounded with for months and months. And I want to say on the record, I have no problem with fairies. Do you? I don't fucking give a shit.
So I've got like a lot of internet friends that are fairies and stuff. So
Yeah.
I've been hanging around them for a while. I don't like hate them or anything, but they're definitely a weird sort, definitely a
Yeah.
unique sort. And there's definitely there's definitely normal people that just like drawing or dressing up, and then there's a lot of crazy people who are very much into it as well. And then there's a lot of sick fucks as well who do like the most unspeakable things.
I feel
Well,
like to a degree you
I
get
think-
that with every community.
You know what? Yo, definitely. But I think most of all with the fairies, I think I can sympathise with them in the sense that I feel like every single one of those people is is unhappy in themselves.
Yeah.
Hence why they invent a character to like represent them, and they can kind of become that character, whether it be online or at a convention in a costume. I think that's like a really big part of it. It comes from like a maybe an inferiority or like a dislike of oneself. You would wish to be someone else or something else.
I know exactly
where it
what to
comes
title the spin-off video now.
No, I just know exactly where it comes. I can pinpoint that shit. Like, why else would you go around dressed in a costume, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then build an entire persona where you were like, because a lot of these people are chronically online as well. So like, you build a persona and you interact through this persona 24/7, or every time you interact with somebody until you go outside at the end of the week to go food shopping. Like, it's a way to appease your self-image.
Video title: Two white men diagnose people with no scientific backing.
Well, that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
when you
100%.
I don't want to fucking put people on blast, but then when you talk to somebody outside of their persona, and you get to know them, you realize like this person does have a lot of like self-hate.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, yeah, no, that's probably not even their fault. You know,
It's
fucking. I've just been talking about brain damage, like, you know, you can
Yeah.
get depression from getting kicked in the head, so, you know, it's not their fault.
I
But
wish
at
that's
the
where I
same
got my
time-
depression.
But yeah, you know, it's a strange one. It is a
Yeah.
strange one.
I mean, I am contracted to say fairies are fine and good, mainly because my fucking thumbnail artist is a fairy, and I'm probably gonna message him later, be like, "Hi, can you draw me up a thumbnail?" At like really short notice, like, "Hi, spicy pudding."
Nah. No, because I don't have anything against them, but I can tell that like for a lot of them, it's like an insecurity thing. It's like maybe this will have to be cut out because it's a bit like current day politically unacceptable. But like, have you seen that meme with the it's like a picture of someone with like fucking, I can't even remember what the reaction is, but it's a picture of some character with green hair, and then it's like I think it's Marge Simpson actually looking at like diet pills or something.
Homie.
And it's a picture of like Marge Simpson in the top panel, and it's like boring people with no personality or hobbies, and then the next panel is like a bottle of pills that's supposed to be diet pills for the episode,
Oh,
but the
I
diet
know
pills
the
is
meme.
just labeled non-binary,
Oh god.
you know. So it's like but like that's the vibe I get with people, like, you know, because trans people and non-binary people are supposed to be like statistically it's supposed to be 2% of the population, but if you look at the people who claim to be non-binary or transgender, that's not 2% of the population. So there's a group of people who do need representation, but they'll never get it because of all the fucking bandwagon jumpers as well. And then the people who are jumping on the bandwagon are doing it because, like I said before, it's the same as the fairies. They don't feel comfortable in themselves. They want to be special, but they don't want to do any actual work to be special. They just want to transform. Hence, like a fairy's costume or a change of pronouns, right?
I feel like the best way for me to respond to this would be everyone is special. So therefore,
but that's the thing.
none of us
Everybody is special. Exactly. Everyone is special, so no one's special. And your opinion doesn't
Incredibles.
matter, and no one owes you anything, right? But, you know, some people do feel like some people don't like themselves and feel like they're entitled to like themselves, and unfortunately, you're not. You've just kind of got to get on with it, and you've got to
Yeah,
improve yourself or learn to love yourself how you are. Um,
a great
and
quote from
forcing the world to change around you isn't a solution to your problems.
a great quote from. Oh my god.
Well, a great quote from Not So Lethal. I don't know. Maybe I'm fucking delusional though, right? Because I don't
Well, I
know.
mean,
That's the crazy part about politics is that if you are in an echo chamber, you don't know you're in an echo chamber. So I could say all this shit, but I could be completely wrong, and someone comes along 5 minutes from now and says, not so lethal guy's a fucking moron. Here's why, and then I am an actual moron because I didn't know. And then I might even see the evidence, and because my echo chamber's so strong, I'd just be like, fuck it, I'm not gonna listen.
I think that's
And I
the
wouldn't even know.
I feel like that's the beauty of it, to be honest with you, because we all like confirmation bias is a massive thing, and I think to a degree we all suffer from it. And I try and like me myself, I am 100% like comfortable in the fact that I have my own set of beliefs and like I believe certain things, but I know for a fact I'm in an echo chamber. I'm very left leaning as a person. I'm very like pro-choice, pro. Uh, Basically, I'm pro everything that the Conservative government, who have just been kicked out of office, stood for. Um, apart
Yeah.
from the pig fucking. I'm not against that. I'm more just concerned.
I'm just concerned.
Like, I don't feel like you can be against putting your dick in a dead pig's mouth. Because I feel like that conversation is so wild and out of left field, it should never come up to begin with. And the fact that those two things intersect like that make me curious to learn more.
That's the thing though, is that like the politics is a cult as well, and there's like a documented like humiliation fetish that they all have, or like humiliation rituals they all go through.
Yeah, like
And
the
it's
speaker
kind of
getting
like,
dragged to the chair.
yeah, it's like maybe not everyone's a masochist though, so why would they put themselves through a humiliation ritual? Obviously, maybe they don't know it's a humiliation ritual. Maybe it's just something that's like part of the culture of the cult.
Honest answer: humiliation fetish is weak. Up your game.
Up your game.
Up your fucking game. The amount of people online that I see, like, I want that goth woman to step on me, or I want that fucking femboy or some shit to step on me. No. Up your game. There are better fetishes out there. I myself have none. Because I am dead inside and I died in 2008. I am a robot replacing the real version of Shadow Square because Shadow Square got buried a long time ago, motherfucker.
No, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I only get turned on by UFC highlight reels, so we're in the same boat there.
And Beastars.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Beastars and
Of course.
UFC highlight reels, of course. Yeah.
I died when the financial crash happened. Because I couldn't buy a house because I was too busy playing with Lego.
I died when the financial crash happened because I was driving.
It wasn't a financial crash that day. It was a real crash. I fucking rear-ended a tree going 80 miles an hour.
I was gonna say the financial crash was literally someone just crashing into a bank. It ruined all of the money.
Crashed into
Someone
a
crashed into
stock
the money
exchange in
factory.
London.
Literally crashed the stock exchange.
12 stockbrokers are dead. The world rejoices.
Yeah, fuck those guys too.
Fucking hell, this has been
But
a
then-
ride.
It's been fucking crazy.
Holy
to be fair,
shit.
it is getting on a bit. That's going to be a lot of content for you to edit.
Oh, this is. I promise you now. This is not going to end up in development hell like every other project I have going on right now.
You know what? I hope it does. I hope it ends up in development hell. We don't speak for like a year,
Yeah, like
and then one day you just upload it, and you're like, oh, by the way, that's up, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
hi, Square, it's you again. Oh,
yeah, holy shit! I thought you died. Like, I'll remove the mask a bit. I have like binned off in the past 6 months 4 separate projects that I
Really?
like. It's not even like a perfection thing. Like like on the record. Like I was working on an ARG for quite a while that I really wanted to do, that I was really looking forward to. But the further I got in, like the more it sort of linked back to like I. A good example of it would be, I don't know whether you're aware of it at all, the Wilbur Soot ARG that he did back in 2017. I'm only very vaguely aware of it from researching ARGs.
No,
Um,
I'm completely unfamiliar, to be fair.
he hid messages and videos and stuff that linked to other videos and linked to other videos, and it was like a big fuck
Okay.
off mystery. Um,
I
I
like
think
the
one of
idea
the
of it, though.
yeah, it's a really good idea, and I really like. Eventually, I'd love to do it again. I'd love to actually sit down and plan one out from start to finish. But when I was doing it, I was also working on the mental health video again.
Wait,
Um,
is that what that? Okay, I see. You'd already started like putting stuff in, right?
yeah, I'd already started
Yeah. Okay.
making like a
Yeah.
couple of
Yeah.
the all of those cutaways that you see in the video are sort of what remains of the scrapped version
You see, because
of
I
the
when I was
ARG.
watching that, I was watching that with the wife, and and she had said that she felt like it was some sort of subliminal messaging going on.
Yeah, there was. Like
So
throughout the
yeah,
video,
yeah.
I hid messages purposefully. Like throughout the video, like there's it's very hard to catch because I sat there for 2 days straight editing
Well, that's
tiny
the thing.
little words
That's the
together.
thing. That she said that, and I was like, "Don't be fucking ridiculous."
And then she rewound it. You're like, shit.
No, no, we didn't even rewind it. Completely dismissed it. I just completely dismissed it. I was just like,
That's
no, no, that's impossible. Subliminal messages? No.
no. Like,
This is a simple YouTube video about mental health.
let me get the script off because I wrote it in italics in the script, like the stuff I wanted to do, and I just pinched it from stuff from the ARG because like I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna leave it because it's a massive time sink. I also don't have that much time because I have to balance working full time alongside this as well as all of the other projects I want to get off the ground. So I'm just gonna bin it. I'm gonna leave it in the folder of literally everything else that I've put together, and I'm just gonna not touch it. Um, but like all of the static shots, they were all me and Anon driving out like 3 hours out of town into a field in the middle of nowhere and just spending 2 hours filming shots. And we ended up.
I like that though.
It
I
was
like
really
that though.
good. It was a really nice day.
I think it was aesthetically for the video. I think it was perfect.
Yeah, like it's nice that it sort of worked out. Like it fitted into what I sort of ended up doing with the video. The only regret I have of that is I wish the final section, the completely like not in the original. I wish that had been edited a little bit better in my head because me and Spicy sat on a call for like 2 hours, just going over bits and bobs. Like every day I'd get like a new message off and like these are the new template images I've made. I'm gonna do this image for this. What do you think of this? And I just wish I'd been a bit more tech savvy in that regard when it comes to the editing.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah, because I use Movie Studio fucking 17 and I hate it with all my fucking heart because it's an offshoot of Sony Vegas.
Yeah.
It's the last movie studio other than 18 that they made. I think they're on 20 now, where the actual software was built around you want to make something, go. Nowadays it's all very hand-holdy. Like I bought a copy of like Movie Studio 20 and it's just dog shit. It's so bad. It's like hands hold shoes. So like you put your video in here, now you put your sound in, now you put your background music in. That's it. It doesn't give you like the freedom to you want to like warp this track. Like the song I used was where is it? Where the fuck is it? It's on a note somewhere on my desk. Dead as Fuck by Oven, which is a brilliant name for a song.
That's a great name.
Pitch shifting, that was a pain in the arse.
Yeah, I can imagine actually.
Because I had to change the EQ on it to make it a little bit lower, because the pitch shift in Movie Studio doesn't make things lower, it just makes them slower.
So you were just getting like
Yeah.
garbled sounds then, yeah.
So then I had to do that, then I had to pitch shift it down, then I had to add a tiny bit of resonance, just so it doesn't sound like complete AIDS. And then only then could I pitch, like I could time stretch it out to make the effect of, oh, this song's slowed down, and then wow, it comes back in the end. But yeah, I scrapped a video on Authority. I'd love to go back to that, to be honest with you, and I might do eventually. I scrapped a long video that was pretty much almost finished on the Reform UK Party, mainly because talking about Nigel Farage is a headache, and also the news did a better job of humiliating him than I ever could when they called him out for saying up the Ra.
I'm all about the Ra though, man.
On record.
I mean, to be fair, on record, like I'm actually like on record, I can't hate the little guy standing up against the big guy. I just can't hate it. I can't hate it. Like the Irish people, a section of the Irish people didn't want to be governed by England.
Oh, I'm so glad you
themselves.
clarified that, because for a minute
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about Nigel Farage for a very brief moment.
Well, it applies to Nigel Farage as well. Would you vote for Nigel Farage if voting for Nigel Farage and the asshole would fix the system? Is what it comes down to, isn't it? That's the thing though. But then if you said no, then if that was the solution, the system would never get fixed. And I'm not saying that it is the solution. I didn't vote, so I'm
He's
the worst
legally
kind of
not
person.
allowed.
Yeah, I'm legally not allowed to talk about it, but like I didn't vote. I don't vote because I don't believe in the political system. Like I don't think it works. I think everyone at the top just hops between parties, and they're all actually the same people, and they pretend that they're not the same people to get everyone annoyed at each other, when realistically we should just be like, fuck all of the politicians on every side.
I agree with that to a degree.
Fucking crazy.
Because
Let's just do something fucking crazy and do something else.
Full transparency. I am a fully paid up member of the Labour Party. I have been for as long as I've been able to vote. This past election cycle has been the closest I have ever been to walking away.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because the thing with Labour is that like I would be on board with Labour, but I think if I met a Labour politician, they would fucking hate me.
Yeah,
I think they'd look down the nose at me, genuinely, because I'm common as fuck. Like I'm like third generation immigrant. So my grandparents, my grandfather came here illegally. Technically, my grandfather's father came here technically illegally.
I feel like you're going to piss off a very distinct section of the internet by saying that. They're going to try and get you on a boat and shoot it.
Well, I was born here, so I'm all good, and I'm a few generations removed from that. But so I'm from a family of immigrants. In part of my family are immigrants. So it's.
I'm not technically part of immigrants, but I am technically not a full English national, as you know.
Yeah, true.
A lot of my family come from another place, which I'm not going to say. You don't get shit for Christmas. You don't get any more peeks into the private life. Fuck off.
Well, tell you what, this is another thing that's contradictory, right? Margaret Thatcher, don't like her politics, don't like what she stood for, don't agree with going to war in the Falklands.
No, that was a fucking joke.
And don't agree with taking the milk and the cookies, but to be completely honest with you, I probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for Maggie Thatcher, because my family did come here illegally, but it was a Maggie Thatcher policy, like a piece of legislation that she put in that allowed my family to stay. So as much as you've got to hate Maggie Thatcher, there's shit that she did that led to me being in this country, for as fortunate as I am.
To a degree, I understand that, but also
so it's crazy to think about, like, the butterfly effect of everything. That's the
Yeah.
only way I could describe it. Like how everything knocks onto everything else. Like the worst possible person can do good things in small places, whereas the best possible person can fuck everything up so royally. It doesn't really matter.
It's like the tangent of if you had a time machine, where would you go? 9 times out of 10, the first answer is like kill Hitler. And
But
like,
then what happens after you kill Hitler, right?
yeah, like two things could happen. You could have something so much worse. You could have like Heinrich Himmler, for example, one of the main SS officers taking over from Hitler. And also, when would you kill Hitler?
True.
Would you kill him as a baby? I couldn't kill a baby. I kill a year 7 easily. I live quite close to a comprehensive secondary school.
And those you won't be able to live there much longer.
Fuck.
No,
Those little shits walk past my house every day, man, and they're just so obnoxious, and I hate them. I hate them so much.
See, that's the thing, right? It's about going back in time to kill Hitler, as a baby or otherwise. Is that such a fucking boring answer?
Yeah.
Like, I imagine when people first started saying it, they were like, "Oh, that's a great answer." But like now, I feel like I could go back and I could stop 9/11, and that could be a very interesting world we live in, you know?
Yeah. They make a third tower.
They just keep building more towers.
You can't take us.
It's the quintuple towers now, loser.
You need 4 planes.
Should have brought more planes, loser. America rules.
You can't crash one into the Pentagon now.
That's you know.
If I could go back in time,
yeah, go on.
I'd probably.
What would you do?
I would probably go back to 9/11. Would I stop it? Interesting question.
That's a dramatic pause. Dramatic pause.
No, because you know where I'd actually go on the day of 9/11?
Okay, go on. Tell me.
I would kick Osama bin Laden out of Afghanistan and Iran.
I mean,
because the only reason we went to war with them after the Taliban who were backed by the CIA for many years, was because he was in hiding in Iran, or it might be Iran. I might be wrong. If not, I'll put a little disclaimer up at the bottom. Is because he was hiding out there anyway, because he wasn't a national from there. I'd kick him out and avoid the whole war, because like even now in Australia, you're seeing like that whistleblower. His name isn't coming to my brain at the moment. It's fucking 1:15 in the morning. I think David McBride, I think his name is.
That sounds familiar, actually.
Yeah, I think it might be him. Yeah, he's going to prison for whistleblowing on all of the atrocities.
Yeah, you know, it's whistleblowers is a tough one for me, but with the war in the Middle East, it's I sympathise with the Tally bros. I'm not gonna lie, I sympathise with them a little bit. Like if Big Bad America rocked up to my little sandy patch of land and tried to take it off me for the oil, but by the way, it was for some terrorist dude that I have no affiliation with. He just lives in the same country as me. I'd start a gang and fucking fight back.
Yeah, well, I mean, war wins elections. I feel like
it does win elections. That's
especially
true.
in America.
Well, to be fair, war wins elections, but you know they lost that war.
Yeah.
They lost that war. The Taliban runs Afghanistan now. They're not a terrorist organization anymore. They are the government of Afghanistan. They won.
Did you see the videos of when they took over, when they were in bumper carts? They were just having a jolly old time.
Nah. No, you know what's even crazier? Have you seen the video of women driving?
Yeah.
So they're supposed to not let women drive. They took over the country and they're letting women drive. They changed the law around burqas so that women aren't mandatory having to wear burqas, but they were the bad guys that were forcing them to all along. So what the fuck's actually going on?
I feel like this is slowly turning into a fucking, like I feel like we've been psyoped all of a sudden to be like, yeah, join the Taliban.
Listen, the genuine. I mean, I'm not going to be joining the fucking Taliban, but you know what I mean. It's like I was taught my whole life that they would oppress women, and part of the reason why we went to go to war there was to liberate them and kind of fix their, in quotations, backward nature, which is fucking horrifically racist. But I'm fairly sure a teacher said that once. And now that I'm an adult and the war is over and fucking my side lost, and I'm looking at the guys that we've just been fighting, and I'm seeing them doing the things that we said they would never do, like letting women drive and releasing, lowering restrictions on the burqa and shit like that. Like, that's fucking crazy to me, because they're the bad guys. They're not supposed to be doing the progressive stuff.
Yeah. I feel like...
That's what kettles my head, man. That's what kettles my head.
Do you know what kettles my head?
Go on.
The BBC. Not the...
Fuck
not
the BBC.
The company who runs the telly, not the fun type.
Oh, in that case...
Mainly
No,
for the
fuck the
television
BBC.
license. Because
Well,
I am an avid anti-television license man. I'm
are you
against it.
sure you're not a Tommy Robinson fan?
Fucking hell, I hate that cunt.
Yeah, you know what? You say that, but when you talk about politics, your like political stance aligns with his.
Don't say
Like,
that
it's
to me,
fucking
man.
weird, you know? Genuinely, you should have a look. Have a look at like his have a look at them band documentaries. I'll send you a link. 2 of them are on YouTube. Watch the one on the BBC and Panorama. Like, that is you politically to a T. Maybe not on everything, but that specific documentary, that's your politics to like a fucking T.
Hold on. Define
like,
my
he
politics
exposes-
really quick.
Well, I would say like you would seek to expose injustice within a political system, right?
100%.
And then you would also seek to stop the spread of false information, right?
Unless it was really funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, if it's really funny, then that's
if
that's
it's
completely
really
different.
funny, then like, yeah, send it.
You know, and so those are things fucking. Well, I mean, maybe those are things that everyone would strive for politically.
I mean, I'd hope
But,
so, but then
you'd
again,
hope so, but,
we've
you know-
just
you
had
know-
14 years of conservative rule, so I doubt it.
Well, here's the thing, right? So your politics, right? You just said then you don't like TV licensing, right?
Yeah, mainly because
I would imagine that's because you don't get a choice in paying it. They try and like force you to pay it, even if you don't access the BBC or
yeah,
public channels.
I'd say that.
And they'll try and blackmail you into it. They'll try and bully you into it. They'll force their way into your house, TV licensing. They'll force their way into your house and then
I have a
turn
quick one
BBC
on
on.
The BBC licensed people are not police. They have no power. You don't have to let them into your house. All you have to say is "fuck off, you specky cunt." Get down path.
Well, exactly.
And they leave.
Exactly. Well, that Tommy Robinson documentary, I'll find it specifically which one it is. That whole documentary is Tommy Robinson catching wind of the BBC and Panorama trying to like basically set up like a propaganda campaign against them in the media, and like they're trying to basically they get someone that used to work for them they try to get her to make a sexual assault allegation against them so they can publish it in the papers. But unbeknownst to the BBC and Panorama, Tommy Robinson has caught wind of it, and all the people that they're interviewing have got like hidden cameras on, and the BBC basically just admit to making shit up about him.
Huh.
He confronts them with the information, and they had nothing to say about it. The dude whose documentary it was, which was some high up dude in the BBC, he got sacked for it. And I didn't even know about it. This is 3 years old. This information, this documentary got banned because it exposed the BBC
I feel like
for
that's
being
where,
liars.
I feel like that's where my similarities to Tommy Robinson ends. I feel like that's sort of the line, because after that I hold no sort of similar opinions. He's anti-gay.
He's not.
I am gay.
He's not anti-gay.
Is he not? Hold on.
No, he's not. No. He's
Am I
he's
right
not,
wing?
Yeah, here's a crazy one for you, right? Here's a crazy one for you. Is that you know the EDL?
Oh, don't get me started.
so the EDL, right, racist group, yeah, I agree with you there.
Tosses.
Did you know that when it was first founded by Tommy Robinson, it was 70% Muslim, 70% British Muslims, so like immigrants, brown people who had immigrated over into the British community and didn't feel safe around the other Muslims because, as you know, within the Muslim community there aren't just one kind of Muslim. There's multiple kinds, and they all fucking hate each other.
Holy shit, that's true.
So like,
I've just googled.
like, yeah, so like 70% of the EDL was Muslim, but he gets called anti-Muslim and a racist.
But then it slowly got co-opted.
Yeah, so it gets co-opted
to
by
English
fucking idiots.
nationalism and
Yeah.
populism. Oh my god, it
But that's the thing,
originated
is that-
in Luton. Hold on.
Yeah.
It
Luton is the
originated in
highest
Luton.
Muslim, yeah, the highest Muslim population in the UK at the time.
I feel like if you say, this came from Luton, it immediately destroys any good that could have ever been achieved. Because it's Luton.
Yeah, Luton is a shithole.
I hate Luton with all of my heart. It's such a shithole of a
honestly,
fucking place.
I think you would be shocked because I was quite gobsmacked by it. Like I always thought Tommy Robinson was like. To be fair, I didn't even know what he looked like. I thought he was going to be some fat beer drinking fucking England football team t-shirt wearing dickhead. But he's a bit of a fucking interesting character, to be fair to him.
I'm having a little
And,
read
like,
now, trying to find out what
if he has been framed, because like one of the documentaries starts off with him pointing out the fact that the newspaper said he'd been done for something that he'd actually been proven innocent of, and they'd thrown the case out of court because it was like ridiculously absurd to some degree.
So
But the papers were still saying he was found guilty.
instantly, like reading, like I'm only on Wikipedia. Involvement in electoral politics. Is the section if you want to look this up for yourself.
Yeah, have a look.
So Robertson joined the far-right fascist British Nationalist Party. Instantly, I'm like, no, because I am as far away from a nationalist or a fascist as you can get. I'm gay, slightly disabled, mentally fucked. And I come into a lot of groups that fascists, especially like the white nationalist fascist, like the stereotypical neo-Nazi type person, would want to bash.
Well, that's very true. But at the same time,
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate that.
That's very true. Like you're right though. There are neo Nazis out there that
like,
really hate gay people.
Like
But at
you
the
are very
same time-
bashable, Shadow Square. You fit the bill.
Well, to those people, I'm sure you are. But at the exact same time, the Muslim community that Tommy Robinson is standing against, this sect of Muslims that he's trying to weed out and point out as an issue.
Before you say
for,
anything else,
he would say that they are also very anti-gay and would do the gay bashing.
okay. I was worried about what you were going to say then. We just have to be very careful.
Well, I just mean like on both sides, like you
Yeah.
say, and you are right that there are Nazis that would be very much happy to be gay bashers, but at the same time there are people on the complete opposite side of the spectrum who are Muslim, who also don't like gay people, and they would identify as left, but they don't like gay people because their religion says otherwise. But everything else they think about politically would be left leaning, but they just can't agree with the gay stuff because their religion says otherwise. In fact, their religion says that they should be fucking castrated and thrown off a roof for being gay. So,
Which, honestly, if you ask me, is fucking funny. Like, as a gay person, I feel like I have a say in this. Who gives a fuck?
you have more of a say in it than me, man. If you
Like, it really, like, tickles me. Like, really, like, makes me laugh. Because who fucking cares? I'm not trying to sleep with you. You don't want to sleep with me. You don't want to be gay with me. I don't want to be gay with you. I feel like we're in agreement.
That's the crux of the situation, though, is that theoretically, it's not even theoretically, realistically, it's no one's fucking business unless you make it their business.
Yeah, I feel like the whole being gay is a sin. Okay, who told you this? Someone who said he met Jesus. All I'm saying is, and I've said this before, and I will say this until the day I am shot by the FBI in 2027 at 4:02 p.m. on the 5th of October. The Bible
got the
is just
exact-
gay fanfic.
I mean, the Bible is very zesty.
It's very zesty. It's like,
Very
oh,
zesty.
Jesus was so strong today. He healed someone's blindness. Oh, he's so nice. Like, yeah, you're good. You're on the same size as me, pal. We both want to shag
I mean,
Jesus.
That is only the second half of the book, though. You've got to
The
remember
first
that
half of the book is very brimstone and
first
fire.
half is yeah.
Yeah.
First half of the book is like there's a whole town full of gay people.
Yeah, and they
You better
die.
get over there and fucking kill them all.
Go.
You better get over there right now and show them the error of their ways.
They're being fruity and painting each other's nails. Take them down.
Yeah, it's actually that's you know what that is. I think that's why like the Judeo religions, so like the Catholics and the Christians, and like the more modern, like the less Hasidic Jews. I think that's why they're perceived as fucking ridiculous these days.
Because who cares?
Because like, well, not even because who cares, but even the people who do care are fucking idiots. Because one half of the book contradicts
The other
other
half.
half of the book when it comes to the Bible. So like, you know, even though you'd say like the fucking you've got Muslim terrorists and shit, at least they've only got one half of a book, so it's all consistent.
Yeah, like the half you've read, fair. Like, I get where you're coming from. Just turn the page over, and oh, they're all gay.
Yeah, but you can imagine someone reading it and being like, I fucking love killing all these gay people, getting all these gay people killed. This is a great book. And then someone's just like, oh, sweetheart, sweetie, wait until you get to the next chapter. And then he gets there and it's just fucking gay
Jesus
love.
feeds everyone his bread, if you know what I mean.
Love thy neighbour as thy love thyself.
To be gay is to be stoned. All I'm saying is it helps.
But yeah, you know, so you know, I think that's why they get perceived as so fucking cartoonish and stupid, because their whole ideology contradicts itself about halfway through.
Like
But that's the same. But for the same reason, that's why like this fucking this radicalized sect of Muslims, which seems to be ever growing. I mean, they won the war, so why wouldn't they be ever growing, right? They're
is
the
this
fucking
in
winners.
regards to the Taliban?
In regards to, I think just in regards to the state of the world. Well, yeah, the Taliban. It'd be the
Yeah.
Taliban, and it'd be like Taliban sympathizers, not Hassan, fucking
Hamas?
Hamas
Yeah.
sympathizers. Yeah,
You got there in
I was
the
gonna say
end.
hummus.
Yeah, no, I feel like you get shot.
Hummus.
I feel like you're gonna.
I feel like
You're
that's
gonna
a
get a
crime.
pipe
Good thing I
bomb
stopped
in your
myself and
next
didn't repeat it.
package delivery.
No, I'm friends with the IRA.
They'll disarm
No
it before
pipe
they give
bombs
you
for
it.
me.
Every postman you know is a member of the IRA.
Oh shit.
I'm convinced my local postman is a member of the IRA. He has so much fun with his job. There's no way on God's green earth he isn't at least killing some annoying
No one's smiling
fascist
while having to
cunt.
wear them shorts.
Yeah, like there's definitely a bomb in his pants.
I like to imagine like he's hidden the bomb somewhere, and one day it's just going to go off,
oh no.
and he's just going about his day, and he's just like, oh, only 3 more weeks.
Oh, I'm gonna be ever suspicious now every time that man gives me a package. Because I order a lot of shit online. Oh no.
Oh,
John, if you're watching, please, no. I have a wife and kids, John. No. Holy
but I think on that fucking. Oh. No, I think on that last tangent, I'm gonna have to call it a night because it is
Yeah?
1:30.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. So it's been years since I've done anything like this proper, so I feel like the best way to do it if you ask you one final question.
Okay.
Well, not so much a question, more of an invitation. Please now shout out anything you want to shout out that you're involved in, any projects you're working on, and whatever you do, please don't shout out any far-right fascist groups. Thank you. Or the
I
Taliban.
want to.
Or the Taliban.
Oh, damn. Nah,
I knew
I
it.
want. I want to start by saying Hitler did absolutely nothing wrong.
Oh
Nah,
no 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 no
nah, my name's Not So Lethal. If you want to check out my YouTube, it's Not So Lethal. I do mostly, pretty much solely, MMA and fight content. So if you're into that, go check it out. If not, then I guess you're out of luck, innit? Because that's
no!
all
Wait,
I do.
that was such a Benny line. You really are the Benny of your own world. Holy shit! You're gonna fucking
I
meg
make fight
someone for a
content.
casino chip soon,
I would, I
and
would.
it's
Yeah, I just do fights. I'm sorry.
it's gonna be me. I'm gonna go to the casino soon. It's all gonna go wrong.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
You're gonna get two meth heads to stand either side of you.
I am. I
No. But thank you for coming on to this
am. Of course,
impromptu
of course.
impromptu podcast, I guess. Um,
Yeah, well, I had to get myself cancelled somehow, didn't I?
yeah. So this is the first
Bit
and
too
last
overdue.
episode.
Yeah, the first and last appearance. No, thanks for having me. It's
Oh,
been really fun.
for an inaugural episode of an accidental sort of mock talk show, I want to say that we've just sort of accidentally created in the past 20 minutes to an hour. It couldn't have gone better because, like, we differ on opinion in certain topics, which is nice because it's nice to have someone to talk to who doesn't instantly
Well,
echo chamber it
that's
back to you.
why. Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. That's why I value our friendship because I know we politically differ,
Yeah,
but it's not so radical that we can't stand each other, so we can like help each other out
yeah.
at times. It's like I hear some ridiculous shit, I can be like, "Hey, by the way, have you heard this?" And you'll be like, "That's fucking nonsense," and I'll be like, I was thinking that was weird."
Yeah, like we're both definitely left of the spectrum, but in slightly like differing ways. Like I'd say I'm a bit more radical than you in a lot of my opinions.
I would say you're a bit further left than me.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
it,
try to be a centrist, but I do feel like sometimes I fall on the right hand side. I know you just said I'm quite left leaning, but I do feel like a lot of the time I fall on the right hand side,
which is okay.
which is it's a bit crazy because I don't feel like I feel like if I was me like 20 years ago with the same politics, I wouldn't be on the right. Put it that
No,
way. I'd be
100%.
more of a central leftist. But in today's climate, I'm probably a right winger if you want to be technical about it.
Yeah, if you really want to be technical, I'd say you're either left centralist or right centralist. I'd say you very much
Yeah, yeah.
have a fair
Depends
viewpoint
what
of
day you
both
catch me on.
sides. Yeah.
Depends when you. Well, I think both are scumbags, and I think both do good in their own right as well. So it's just a bullshit situation where
Yeah,
I don't like it.
but I feel like
I don't like catch 22s.
yeah, but I feel like if for anyone to come on to my fucking schizophrenic scribbles of a channel and start off an accidental podcast, it had to be you out of anyone. I feel like that's the best person I could have asked.
That's what you need to do. You need to get people. You need to get random people on
Yeah,
of all different walks, and
like
just let them just talk shit.
yeah, like for a section of a video that is still gonna be in that video, I'm just gonna cut it off at a point. Like, if you want to see the rest of this, go and watch this. Um,
Go watch it on Rumble, because surely it'll be cancelable.
yeah. For anyone I could have like pictured coming on and doing something as like just out of left field as this, it had to be you. You're the only option. You're the wild card,
Oh, thank you so much.
and we genuinely have like there's never been a conversation with you where I'm like, okay, this is shit. I'm bored.
Oh, I
Like,
appreciate
we
that.
always like talking to you is always a pleasure,
Oh, you too, man. You too.
and we should definitely do this again.
I would happily do this again. I'm free most of the time except for UFC time.
UFC time is time, and that is money.
It is. Well, it's not money yet, but hopefully with a few more subscribers it will be.
Go subscribe to Not So Lethal. His content is
Thank you very
fucking
much.
baller, and he's definitely gonna get shot by at least someone that we've mentioned in the past 2 hours.
Yeah, probably someone.
If
You
you
know my luck, I'm just going to get beaten up by the fighter I most recently called Shite.
yeah,
I'm
they're
just
gonna
going to bump
turn
into them
up
in
to
the
your
gym,
house.
and they're going to be like, I know you, you make your jump video. I'm like, oh, it's got 10 views. How do you know me?
I have alerts on for my name. I know what you said.
He just stomps me into the
Yeah.
dirt. Yeah, that's the way I'm going to go, is getting beaten up by a fighter that's slagged off.
I'm probably gonna drown in work eventually. It's definitely gonna be the death of me doing this. If you've made it to the end of this, please consider liking and perhaps maybe giving that subscribe button a little tickle. Maybe giving it a little smooch, little. Don't make love to it though. Please. I feel like we both would find that rather disturbing. You're not David Cameron. You don't have to put your dick in it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But
Dirty boy.
Thank you. God's sakes. Thank you so much for watching this really unorganized and unscripted and unexpected very first inaugural episode of an official Shadow Square podcast. It could only have gone down this way, really. The evidence is all there. And if you don't believe us, go watch more videos. Increase the views.
Yeah, go watch them now.
You have to. Or Not So Lethal will stomp you into the ground.
That's a promise.
It is. It's
Right.
a promise.
Peace and love, motherfucker. I got this.
Thank you for watching, guys. Take care. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.